I have never been this knee-deep in marijuana in my entire life. I'm literally kind of drowning in plants here. This is some thick bush. This is the best kind of bush. This is incredible. I got to get out of here. Let's see if we can get down through the weed canopy. We made it to the underforest. Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I'm filming one of the coolest vlogs that I have ever had the opportunity to film. I am at Private Reserve Gardens in Oklahoma City, and we are going to be taking a look at one of the most exciting vertical cannabis startups in the entire state. This is SplitDaWig, who you may remember from my mixer days and also from some of the streams on the channel. He is the owner, or one of the co-owners of Private Reserve Gardens, and this is Brett, the head grower. So today we are going to be taking a deep look at the production and distribution side of Oklahoma's exploding cannabis industry. And this is just super fun for me. I can't wait. Look at these little guys.
This is where the life cycle begins in the cloning stage.
So this is, clone means split from another plant, right?
Right, so we'll take cuts from an existing mother plant and then transplant them into this grow medium, which turns it from being a branch into being its own plant and growing roots.
So what is GSC here on this little guy?
GSC stands for Girl Scout cookies.
Girl Scout cookies, and I've been told that this is one of your more premium strains that you sell.
Yeah, this is actually one of our most popular strains and one of my favorites to grow.
Nice. And what's this little material inside here, kind of spongy stuff?
Yeah, it's called Rockwool. It's a growing medium that has nothing in it so that you can just add whatever your custom solution is for the plant.
Oh, nice. Okay, and how long does this little guy stay in here before it moves on to the next stage of its life cycle?
Roughly, it takes about roughly 10 days or so for roots to come out, and then once the roots are out, we can transfer it to a bigger home.
Gotcha.
So then these are our older Veg Racks for plants. They'll be here for anywhere for 1 to 3 months, depending on when we're trying to put particular strains in different rooms.
So this guy could sit here for like up to 3 months after graduating from the baby plants. And I've noticed that there's no buds, nothing smokable on these guys. Are these all going to be flowering plants in the future?
Eventually, yes. Everything stays under a certain amount of lights to keep them from developing the buds. So this is called the vegetative state, or in our bedroom, as we refer to it.
Okay, cool. So now we're headed into the actual flowering plant grow rooms. These are hydroponic gardens where they grow extremely high THC yielding plants. You have to grow them, well, I'm gonna let them explain it, but hydroponics is a little different than sun-grown weed, and it's gonna look crazy. Come on into this green hallway. I love that they put green lights to indicate different aspects of the grow timing that's going on here. Okay, so where are we at right now?
So now we've entered one of our flower rooms, and these plants are actually just transplanted this week. So this is the first stage after we're in the last room in the bedroom.
Okay, so this is where they graduate to after they've gone past baby cannabis school.
And this is where they'll live the rest of their lives up until they make those excellent full bud.
Now I saw a little bit of this earlier and had a question. What are these little pellets right here? Because they're not sitting in soil. These kind of look like hamster treats or something. What are these little guys?
It's called hydroponic. It's actually just a clay pebble. And that's what we use as our soil medium, you can say.
So we are now in the serious flower budding part of the hydroponic grow process. And I have never in my entire life seen this much marijuana, touched this much. I feel like I have died, but I went to heaven somehow. I must have done something right in my life. So what do you call this room from a professional grower standpoint?
Well, this is just this is our flower room, but we refer to this room as the umami room because of the amount of umami seed company phenotypes we're testing out here.
Awesome. And how mature are these guys?
These are about 6 weeks into their flower cycle, and they've got about 2 weeks or so left until we harvest them.
So I've been told that you actually cut pretty low, like down here, so you get the whole plant. I imagine in my fantasy land, you'd sit here and carefully snip each little section, but that's probably not very efficient for a business. So I'm gonna go down here, make one snip.
And then we'll just ease it through the trellis.
Yep, the trellis. It's actually caught on the trellis, so I have to be a little careful. Get it out. And this is the first cannabis plant that I have ever trimmed. This is the massive football that we saw earlier. Oh my God, it smells great.
This is our Sage OG.
This is Sage OG. And where does this guy go next?
I will bring it into the next room to get defoliated and hung up.
Nice. Let's check that out. So Brett, tell me what this room is.
This is our dry room. After the plants are harvested, we break them down into more individual branches so that they can hang dry at a particular rate.
And I've noticed that we've got a couple of different air conditioning type systems in here. I'm assuming that is to dehumidify the room and keep it a certain temperature to help the drying?
Correct. Temperature, humidity, and airflow are all very important to keep the integrity of the plant.
Gotcha. And for those of you at home that don't have much experience with this product, it is very important that it's dried properly. It makes the end experience much, much better. Am I allowed to pick one of these guys up?
You can grab it by the branch here. We have them.
Okay. Let's get a football. This guy's
one right here, maybe.
Oh yeah, look at this. Look how little, the branch is this big, it's very small. Look how this is. So, ooh, we gotta pull it, nice, huge. It's so big it doesn't even want to come off the wire. So how long does this guy stay in here to dry?
It'll be here for about a week or so before we break it down.
Okay. And the drying process makes it more smokable, more crispy, easier to grind. Does it change any of the high effects or quality or any of the chemical compositions?
There's a period of time where the plant is curing, as we say. So first it dries out to lose the majority of its moisture with all of it, and then there's a certain amount of time where the trichomes develop a little further curing phase.
Oh, so
it'll dry and then it'll cure for another week or so before it's actually hand trimmed that week.
Nice. And one of the things I love about these plants, the way you grow them here, is I'm gonna move it a little closer to the camera. You can see that the buds have swallowed the leaves. The actual flower is so huge, the leaves are trying to escape the plant, which is just, oh, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. I'm gonna put it back. You go to some nice home and somebody will enjoy you. So you can see the difference between, say, I'm gonna get this other one here. So this one on my left is untrimmed, and you can see all the leaves and things on it. And the one on the right is after these experts have trimmed all the leaves off. And these are the nice, beautiful, Instagram buds that you see all over the world. This is like what you would sell as a final product, right? Final product. Nice. Well, outside the package. Yes. And what strain is this?
Space Guava.
Nice. And I assume that all the leaves and stuff here gets collected and turned into the shake and the other products that we saw earlier.
Yeah, correct.
Nice. Wow, how long does this process take? Like how much? I assume these guys have been going for a long time.
It depends on the strain. Some are leafier than others. Some are super easy, some are not. Typically, one person can trim about half a pound to a pound a day.
Half a pound to a pound?
Yeah.
That's a lot. We're saving stems too. We don't waste anything here. I love it. After leaving that room, I am covered head to toe in pot. My hands you can't see, but they stick together like super glue. My arms are sticky. I smell. It just smells like 18 strains of weed. It's all over my clothing and in my hair and stuff. I feel like if you were to get a nice duster and comb me down, you could probably roll up my body junk and smoke it. I'm a walking felony right now, which is kind of fun. I shouldn't say that. In this state, it's fun. In other states, not so much. So one of the cool things about cannabis in legal states versus illegal states and illegal growers is that every product has to get a state certificate of analysis. Not only is it safe, pesticide-free, and all that stuff, but you can see the exact chemical makeup of the plant, the one we just looked at, Grapenstein. You can see exactly what it's composed of so that you know the exact chemical makeup of the thing that you're buying and putting in your body instead of, just trust me, bro, that's fire. So after all of that, this is the final product before it's packaged and distributed, right?
Yeah.
And what strain is this?
Space Guava.
Space Guava. That is a powerful smell. So let me check this. This is the, I live in Texas. Do you have any idea how, look at the size of my hand compared to this weed. Look at the size of this bud compared to my fingers and my face. So is this the harvest from one of the rooms we just saw?
No. This is just probably one or two plants.
One or two plants? That's insane. So what are the other products I see in here? I see some of this leafy stuff.
So that's just going to be trim, shake stuff from
shake.
Yeah.
Okay, so this, for the people at home that don't smoke and don't really know, the big fat buds are premium, and what would you call this?
So this is the fine trim that gets trimmed off of it. So we keep all this, and then we either process it or we sell it. Some people like to buy this; it's cheaper and it's not.
Okay.
But usually we just process it into like hash rosin or other kind of product.
Okay, so hash, edibles, something
Could
else.
be anything. Yeah.
Gotcha, because this still has the same, let's say, chemical makeup, the same high, the same thing.
Similar THC content, not quite as much as the bud, but it's usually in the teens. If this is like a 30% bud, you'll get like a 17% trim.
Okay, so the difference for people at home would be this is very concentrated and this is not concentrated. So this needs to be processed to get the same quality out.
Yeah.
Good. This is the cannabis that Private Reserve Gardens is famous for. So I assume this is basically your most premium weed here. So let's get inside the bag. Look at, but then get an idea of the scale of this baby. So let me pull one of these nugs out. Take a look at it. What is the strain that we're looking at here?
This is Grapenstein.
Grapenstein.
Try to grab one of the big ones like this.
How about this? Okay, well I got one.
That's
Yeah, so this is called Grapenstein. And what type of cannabis is this? What would you?
a pure indica.
Pure indica.
Yeah.
Okay, so this would be for proper pain relief, relaxation, sleep, hunger for chemo patients.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
body
this obviously will get you high, but it's not like the focus of this probably isn't just like super high THC content or anything like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of terps in it, so it usually tests around 3%.
Okay.
Smells just like you can smell grapes.
Let me see if I can
grape
smell it.
Kool-Aid.
Oddly, yes. That is so bizarre. And get a look at this on the bottom.
Yeah.
You can see how much crystallization we have here because you can kind of see underneath the leaves on the bottom. Good Lord. So Jessica, are you ready for your first felony?
Because I want to keep everything.
No. You like your new babies?
Yes.
They're child size.
They are, but much lighter than mine.
You know, just hanging out, meeting my children. I'm a daddy of 6 pounds here. Each one of these is about a pound of cannabis. So you could say I'm pregnant with 6 pounds right now. This feels so outrageous to me. Like, you don't understand the little like flutters I get in my heart when I'm like holding this much weed and my brain says, you could run out of here with it, you could escape. It has been released. What have you created, sir?
Wow.
Oh, it looks like peanut butter, kind of. Maybe like almond butter. So, do we do anything with those pouches, or are these guys like retired forever?
We save them and try to use them for anything later.
Okay. And this is, when this dries, these will all be dabs.
Mm-hmm.
How many dabs have we made here?
That's a lot.
This is, okay. How much would this sell for if I just wanted to buy this?
I'd have to weigh that out.
Yeah, probably a couple of bucks.
Wow. And then when they're a little bit more dry and hard, they turn into these guys, which
Yep.
are
And
still
then-
not quite ready.
And then I'll take all of these and mix them into one big ball.
So you're gonna scrape everything off and make like a nugget?
Yeah, make a nugget, and then I'll put them in jars.
And they turn out like this?
Yeah, normally it takes about a week. This is only a few days in.
Okay.
It's still really hard, and then it'll turn into like a soft batter, and you just stir it up. It's good to go.
So what's this right
These
here?
are all wet trichomes right here.
And you're freeze drying them.
This is actually just a fridge, so this is where we store
It's
it.
like a regular, this is just like storage, regular refrigerator.
You
Okay.
can freeze dry or air dry. The freeze dry just takes it just a day, so it's
Okay.
much faster. You can see the color of it. This is
Oh,
going to
wow.
be the 5x, the pow pow
Mm-hmm.
right there.
Get a little closer.
So that's all from trim, right? Which is
Yeah.
crazy.
So all that, the trim, the cheap stuff, the leaves and stems and seeds, you've made something amazing out of it.
Yeah.
So at this stage, once it's dried out, you could smoke it just as bubble hash, or
Mhm.
you could, like you said, press it with heat and pressure, create that nice rosin consistency.
So this is freeze dried.
Wow.
All
That
the
looks
heads.
so incredibly dense.
And then once he puts it over here, put it in a bag, and then goes in this scientific level press, and we'll apply heat and pressure at different stages, and it'll come out like this. Final product.
So after it's been fully pressed.
Yeah.
And what is this product?
This is called hash rosin.
Hash rosin.
Yeah. And this
Wow.
goes for about 80 a gram. It's the best of the best.
How do you even smoke something like
You
this?
dab it.
Dab
You
it?
vaporize it. You don't burn it. It doesn't burn. It just vaporizes. So, you know, we run a recipe. You put some of that into
Mhm.
a little bag, stick it in here, and then the recipe would run. It would press 5 PSI for 10 seconds, 10 PSI for 15, all the way down to 65 for a minute and 10.
What are we doing now?
I am weighing these out to 10 grams,
Weighing these out to 10 grams.
and then I'm gonna fill these pouches with them.
Okay.
Getting ready to press all these.
I see the little pouch. Oh, there we go. Okay. That's exactly 10 grams in there. And we're gonna put it in the press. Oh, nice.
Try to make it nice and uniform so it'll press good.
Do you want a consistent texture, quality, everything all the way through?
Yes.
So you've got it preheated now.
Yeah, that just kind if you kind of look inside the parchment,
Okay.
you can kind of see it'll start to ooze.
I'm gonna try to get the camera a little closer then for that one.
Yeah, but this allows the bags to get seated to where they don't slip on me, and then I'll activate the press.
And it squeezes. Now this I really want to see from this perspective. As the pressure increases, the oil escapes the bag and is also filtered by the bag at the same time, right?
Yes.
And we're just like taking it up just like a few PSI at a time here.
Slowly ramping it up.
What's the advantage of slowly ramping it up versus just squashing it?
If you try to too much PSI at once, the bags would slip out.
It would expand too fast at first.
Okay, so yeah, it would make a big mess. Let's see what we got. Oh, wow, I missed the big gooey. See, now it's a big gooey mess in here. I love it. Look at that. How much more does it have to go?
Another minute.
Nice, nice. And that's just pure smokable product? That's all THC and CBD?
Yes.
So a dab, most concentrated weed you can get. I like to call it the hard liquor of cannabis.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
This is for when you really want the pain to go away. I've never hit a dab in my life. I'm way too big of a coward for that one. I think that would just blow me out of the water. But Jessica here, when she goes to Seattle, do you hit dabs?
Yeah.
So after all of the growing, harvesting, curing, trimming, processing, and all of that stuff, we're finally ready to see the product in the actual dispensary, which happens to be the Cannabis Refinery here in OKC. Well, technically this is Edmond.
Correct.
So this will be like North Oklahoma City.
Correct.
So after you. So the first thing that you're gonna need to do in Oklahoma, since this is a medical state, is you're gonna need to check in. So this dispensary has a nice little lobby and waiting room, and you will need a medical ID card to check in, which I'm handing over mine. And it's an all like technology driven process. Everything's online. We're gonna check in on an iPad super quick. Thank you, appreciate it. I've been verified and I am now good to go as a patient, and I can enter the store and see what products are available for any of my various ailments. And the products we're mostly going to be looking at today are the ones that you saw growing this morning. Not those exact ones, of course, because those take months, but same strains, same brands, same growers, but fully mature. Hi.
How's it going? I'm Zach.
Zach, nice to meet you. I'm Brad. So I want you to show me the Private Reserve Gardens, Grapenstein.
Awesome.
We looked at Grapenstein. We looked at a lot of Grapenstein this morning.
Definitely our house favorite.
So this is how, as a normal patient would come in here, and I would say I would need something to help me out with pain or whatever, and you would just show them this whole jar and let them handle the buds?
They don't get to touch it.
Okay, so patients do not touch.
To get a smell for it. I have all of my testing on the back, my top terpenes,
Okay.
effects.
If you remember earlier in the video, there was the cannabis profile we showed. You kind of get the short version back here in the back, so again, at the exact same way you know what you're buying. Let's say I didn't want indica, I wanted something more sativa or hybrid, what would you recommend?
Definitely stick with our stuff since you are kind of that premium smoker wanting that top quality. Move to, say, Platinum Girl Scout cookies.
Platinum Girl Scout cookies.
Something that's still pretty heavy, but real euphoric, happy, uplifting. Definitely can be good for daytime and nighttime use if you were to smoke enough of it.
So be a little more energetic and a little bit less sleepy time.
Yes.
Gotcha. Now, as a patient, when I purchase this, would I say I want it, say I want an eighth, right? Would I get to like pick out my nugs, or do you, or is it already prepackaged back here? What's the deal?
Hop over to our scale and I weigh it out for you.
Let's see how that works. Got the scale nice and torn. I like it.
Again, if you wanted to, we could go for it and you could select your own nugs and we could make it like that.
So I want this guy over here. He's very purple.
Yeah, let's throw him in there. See? If you wanted to keep going, we could.
Okay.
Or not, we could keep weighing it out.
Beautiful.
So we get there.
And it's just a price per weight, right?
Yes. Now, if you wanted to break away from your traditional gram, eighth, we could do like 5 grams, you know, 7 grams, 8 grams, something a little bit more specific in that sense.
And there we go, 3.5 exactly.
And then we would print you off a label.
And I'd take this home and I would be good to go.
Yeah.
And that's how this process works, which I'm sure for some of you that live in, you know, cannabis legal states and medical states, that's very normal. But for somebody that's lived in a prohibition state for a long time, being able to purchase cannabis like this is just mind-blowing. So Zach was kind enough to invite me behind the counter to see what it looks like from a bud tender's perspective, and immediately it's very different because earlier I showed you how we have all the effects on the back and the chemical profile and stuff. I see that when I'm looking at one of these, but on the back side there's a whole big row of a whole bunch of products. So if a patient said, I don't want sleepy, I want, say, euphoric or excited, I could immediately take a knee and just scan very quickly and here we are, euphoric right there. This one's got focused. And the two I want to look at today are Sage OG, since this is the one that we harvested this morning, and Frosted Kush as well, since this is one that we looked at quite a bit, but we did not harvest. These were a little bit young. Let's get these guys nice and open. This is Frosted Kush, and as you can see, it's incredibly well frosted. It's drowning in frosting effectively. This is described as relaxed, sleepy, hungry, and uplifted, 25% THC. So we saw some of these guys in their much younger stages today. This is the final product. And the one that we actually harvested today was Sage OG. So at the end of all that work, all the curing, all the drying, and all the processes, this is what you end up with, and this is what is sold to patients. And this one is described as, and it's another 25% THC, which is pretty high. It says happy, euphoric, uplifted, relaxed, and creative. Medical purposes, relieves stress, anxiety, pain, depression, and insomnia. So, actually looks really good. Oh, I'm like trying to do a YouTube video here, but my mind just fixates on the buds. I don't even think to look at the camera anymore because I'm just so drawn into these little beautiful girls here. I'm gonna put this back, hopefully having not made a mess for anything, because we do not want to mess these up for future customers. We're here at a new section and with a new bud tender, Dominic. What are we about to look at down here below?
So down here, we're gonna be our shake options.
Okay.
Some different tiers.
Yet another section, yet another bud tender. We're back with Blake. Blake, what section are we taking a look at now?
Looking at the edibles today, in
Okay.
Oklahoma, we got just about anything and everything you can want for edibles. We have our slushy machine over here.
Okay, this I want you to explain. You talked about this a little bit earlier. This is amazing. This was probably sitting in the back of the last shot. So, as it was explained to me earlier, this is a slushy machine that people can order through the drive-thru or in here, and they get a slushy and you mix in THC syrup, right? And where are these syrups at?
The syrups are right over here.
Okay.
We're gonna give you your non-flavored slushy to take away in your, and then you're going to get your OMMA certified, you know, little shot that you can pour in it, all different flavors to choose from, strawberry margarita. So these ones are 100 milligrams. We do have higher THC and lower THC for the shots that you can pour in, but for these 100 milligram ones, we recommend that you take it slow. When you start, less is always more. You can always take more, but you can never take less.
So a customer would get 100 milligrams in slushy form in one of these little guys.
Yes.
That is impressive. And
On a hot day, people really like it.
so it's a big seller?
For summertime, yeah.
Okay. There was one item I saw down here on the bottom that I would love for you to explain to me. Let's go ahead and get it out because it's so far down it's hard to film. And that's appropriate because, oh yeah, this is the best. I don't know who made this or why they thought it was a good idea, but this is a cannabis suppository in case you, I guess, can't smoke or don't want to eat edibles, or I have no idea, but for those of you at home that don't know, your rectum absorbs a lot of water and it'll absorb a lot of other things too. So if you would like to use your medicine anally, suppositories. Now the important question is, since you've told me you use these every day, how are they?
They're great. They're great. They're really good.
I couldn't help
gosh.
it. But realistically, how many people go for the suppositories?
Not as many as you would think, honestly. But I actually had a girl call me one day saying that she was just having extreme cramping. So you know, for medical purposes, suppositories are actually a really good way to ingest the cannabis and really get it into your stream almost immediately because.
That makes an odd amount of sense, and it might also make sense to target the gut because cannabinoids do affect your entire gut function in a lot of ways. And if you wanted to see if it works for whatever gut ailments you have, I guess you could just put it on up there. And instant change.
Right there.
I'm just kind of gobsmacked that this is for real. Oh no, close that. We're gonna have to take a minute here. So my wife over here in a former life was a nurse and she gave a lot of suppositories. So, would you be willing to help me out?
I mean, I guess.
But I see one more down here. Is this a whole pizza down here?
This is a whole pizza.
This is a whole pizza, okay.
Sausage pizzas, cheese pizzas, pepperoni pizzas. Another one of my favorite edibles because they go from 10 milligrams all the way up to, this is just gonna be a big packaging, but.
So the real one is we keep frozen, right? Because it is a perishable food item. So I could take this home and put it in the oven, and this would be like a Totino's, right? And it's 250 milligrams, which means you want about 10 friends to share the tiniest slices in the world. Or you could bake your own pizza, have soda, and then get a candy bar and just go off to outer space, I suppose. But this is, it's got its own Instagram brand and everything. Like, what is it?
So they actually started as a pizza company out here, and once it became legal, they started infusing their pizzas, got a license, and did all the fun stuff. And yeah, like I said, they got everything from 10 milligram pizzas all the way up to 1,000 milligram pizzas.
1,000 milligrams of pizza.
And
Whoa.
They use it in the sauce, and it is delicious.
I love this branding here on the pizza. It's Stoney's Pizza with a Higher Purpose. Look at that. It's amazing what THC and cannabinoids can all be made into an oil or an emulsion, so you can put them into almost any kind of food. So I'll just leave this to you to return these things to their natural habitat, and we'll keep on moving. So what is this final section that we're in? I'm gonna take a guess. I'm gonna say that these are all concentrates, like the ones that we saw being made earlier.
Yes, these are all concentrates. Your main form of concentrate is going to be BHO. It's going to be blasted with butane to extract the THC from it. And that's pretty much what you're getting. You're getting that just THC, high profile, anywhere from 70% all the way up to about 95% THC.
Hold up. 95% THC, you're pretty much just smoking pure THC at that point. You're just, wow, okay.
So this is for people, we recommend concentrates to people that, have severe pain. Their tolerance on flour is extremely high, and they come in here and just need the absolute best of the best. Something like, a dab is what they call it.
So these are concentrates that you would smoke out of a dab rig of some kind, and I've never done such a thing, so I'm very ignorant. What would you call this?
That's going to be called sugar.
Sugar, okay.
So everything is going to be just really different consistency. So it's all around the same THC percentage. It kind of just depends what you like. Do you like your consistency to be a little bit sugary and crumbly so that when you take it out for your dab, it's kind of breaking apart and, evaporates really nice and easily into your banger? Or do you want more of a diamond and sauce type of consistency?
Okay.
Whereas those clear things that you see in those, we call them diamonds. So you're going to break into those and you're going to get that terp sauce that's around it, different flavors.
So are the diamonds like big THC crystals?
Just THC.
Oh my
God.
THC.
Straight
THC.
100% THC.
And what's this? This looks like earwax kind of?
A little bit. It's going to be your sauce. So some people, like to have it very just sticky and gooey. That's going to be the one that you like right there. And then you have the stuff that you saw us processing in the back.
So this is the PRG brand that we actually just filmed in the back being made. So this will move straight from the back, from the cooling process, straight into packaging, straight to the storefront.
Exactly.
And this one looks a little bit different than all the others.
So the process that you were seeing back there is going to be considered solventless, which means no solvents were made to create that product. or put into that product. So you're going to have a full total cannabinoid across the board in something like hash rosin, whereas...
But with no solvents, that means no extra stuff that I need to be worried about.
Nothing. It
Gotcha.
goes straight from that ice and water to that freeze dryer to be pushed with heat and pressure.
That's something I'm very paranoid about. I have to be very careful about the things I put in my body. Yeah. And that's it. That is your behind the scenes look at the Oklahoma cannabis industry, courtesy of the Cannabis Refinery and my old friend SplitDaWig. Thank you for inviting me to your entire insane operation today. I also wanted to say thank you to Jessica, who you haven't seen much because she's been running secondary camera the entire time. Jimmy, who's been behind the camera here filming some documentary level stuff. We had Brett at the PRG Grow Up. We had Zach at the Grow Up. We also had Zach the Bud Tender, Dom and Blake all helping me out today. The entire company came out to kind of show us how they do business and help me make this really cool video. So I wanted to say thank you to all of them. You'll find links and stuff down there in the description. And I hope that all of you on the channel find this kind of video to be fun and entertaining. I'm gonna take the mask off for a little bit here. The customers have cleared out. I've been wearing this the whole time because that's respectful around strangers, but it's empty now. So thank all of you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did enjoy it, I'll make more of this kind of content. Drifter out.